They said you were strange, too quiet, too loud, too intense, too off, too much. But they never asked the right question. They never asked why. Why does your voice make the room uneasy? Why does your silence feel like a threat? Why does your presence feel like static in the air? Because deep down, they knew. And deep down, you knew too. You always felt it. The lie, the itch behind the curtain, the hum beneath the noise, the scream in a world too polite to scream back. They call it disorder. They call it defiance. They call it broken. But let's call it what it really is: clarity. Because you never belonged to their machine. You were the virus, injected into the system like lightning through a rusted circuit. You didn't glitch. You made the code blink first. They built a world out of fake smiles and dead routines. You saw the strings. You heard the gears turning behind their plastic paradise. And you said, no. You said no to the script. No to the soul-sucking 9-to-5 grind. No to the quiet desperation they dress up as stability. No to their leash disguised as success. And every time you refused to kneel, every time you spoke your truth, raw and unfiltered, every time you stood when they told you to sit, they called you unstable. But the only thing unstable is their illusion. And you were never part of the algorithm. You were the storm they hoped would never come. Let me ask you something. Why do you wake up tired even after sleeping? Why do you feel hollow after grinding through your days? Why do the weekends vanish faster than dreams, leaving you starving for more the moment Monday hits? It's not your failure. It's not your weakness. It's not bad luck. It's the design. They programmed you to chase smoke, to live for crumbs, to trade your fire for comfort, your truth for silence, your soul for subscriptions and self-help quotes. They didn't need chains. They just needed you exhausted. Exhausted enough to stop asking. Exhausted enough to stop feeling. Exhausted enough to sit still in a cage and call it peace. But here's the twist. If you can see the cage, you're already halfway out of it. You felt it. That voice inside, the one that says, "This can't be it." The one that screams while you scroll. The one that burns every time you put on the mask. That's not weakness. That's your soul remembering how to fight. And now you've got two choices. You can smother it, drown it in distraction, sedate it with likes, loops, and lies, or you can feed it, fan it, let it grow teeth, let it devour the script, let it burn the illusion down to ashes. Because once you see the strings, you don't dance anymore. You cut them. And when you do, they panic. They say you've changed, that you're too cold, too intense, too distant. But you haven't lost your spark. You stopped pretending. You stopped playing. You stopped apologizing for existing outside their expectations. You were never made to obey. You were never made to blend in. You weren't sent to smile on cue or decorate the prison walls with polite conversations. You are not another line of code. You are the corrupted file, the glitch in their design, the anomaly that makes the machine twitch. And they don't hate you because you're wrong. They hate you because you're real. And real is dangerous. Because real reminds them of what they gave up, of who they used to be, of what they buried in exchange for safety. You didn't choose the red pill or the blue pill. You spiked the whole bottle with fire and laughed while it burned. That's why they call you unstable, unpredictable, unwell. But let's be honest, you were never supposed to be well in a system designed to make you sick. You were never supposed to be calm in a world that profits off your stress. You were never supposed to be comfortable in a cage. Your intensity is not a defect. It's a feature. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a weapon. Your rage is not dysfunction. It's the voice of everything they tried to bury inside you. They call you crazy? Good. Let them. Because the sane are asleep. Programmed. Predictable. Plastic. They function. They follow. They fade. But you refused. You didn't malfunction. You evolved. You started seeing colors in static, patterns in chaos, truth in the distortion. And it scared them. Because your madness mirrors the scream they've locked away. Your fire exposes the ash they pretend is peace. You are not broken. You are broadcasting. And your signal is dangerous. They want you soft, obedient, logged in, powered down. Because a soul on fire, a mind unchained, a heart still alive. That's unpredictable. And unpredictable can't be controlled. So they distract you, bury you in updates, feed you mediocrity dressed as meaning, offer you comfort just sharp enough to keep you from running. They say don't stand out, but what they mean is don't wake up. Because once you do, once you see what they traded their freedom for, you'll never go back. So now you vanish, not out of fear, but because ghosts can't be tracked. You disappear from their algorithms. You slip through their patterns. You stop reacting. You stop explaining. You become the move. And when they finally look around, you're not there. No post, no proof, no presence. Just an absence that echoes louder than any noise. That's the new power. Silence like a loaded weapon. Stillness like a countdown. They expected screams. You gave them shadows. They expected rebellion. You gave them nothing. And in that nothing, they feel the shift. They start to sweat. Because they can't debug what they can't define. They can't fight what they can't see. You are not here to be accepted. You are here to infect, to corrode, to collapse their illusions with every breath you refuse to censor. You don't ask permission. You don't wait for approval. You move. You vanish. You reappear, with lightning in your veins and a grin made of fire. You become the reckoning, the storm they whispered about, the force they hoped would never wake up. And guess what? You just did. They'll say you're mad. Say it with pity, with fear, with smugness. But madness? Madness is just freedom that's too wild for their walls. And you were never made for walls. You were born to spiral, to shatter, to blaze through every cage and laugh as it collapses behind you. You are the howl in the night, the glitch in the matrix, the breath of fire in a world that forgot how to burn. You are the storm, the silence, the threat, the truth, the phantom. Not because you asked for it, but because you are it. And now, you're awake. So finish what you came here to start. Law 1. Reject the script. Write your own. The matrix only works if you forget you're in one. You weren't born free. You were born into a lie, wrapped in a smile, sealed with expectations, passed down from those too afraid to question the code. By the time you could speak, the system had already written your lines for you. Go to school, get good grades, be polite, fit in, graduate, go into debt for a degree, get a job, climb the ladder, buy things, stay busy, be grateful, die quietly. That's the script. You weren't supposed to question it. You were supposed to perform it. With precision, with pride. But here's the truth. The script was never written for your freedom. It was written for your compliance. It doesn't want you dangerous. It wants you predictable. It doesn't want you self-aware. It wants you efficient. Just productive enough to contribute. Just numb enough not to resist. The first glitch. Awareness. Rejecting the script begins with awareness. It starts with the itch in your brain when you're staring at a spreadsheet. The sick feeling in your gut when the alarm clock yanks you out of bed into a life you didn't choose. The rage that simmers when you're told this is just how it is. You don't need more motivational quotes or coffee or fake gratitude. You need truth. That discomfort you feel, it's your soul revolting against a lie. And if you've ever caught yourself whispering, there's got to be more than this, that was your first act of rebellion. Step 2. Destruction before creation. To write your own code, you must first destroy the one they gave you. This means unlearning. This means burning the rulebook they gave you. Even if your family wrote it, your friends live by it, or your teacher swore by it. They told you success was climbing a ladder. They never told you the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. They told you happiness was a white picket fence and a 401k. They never told you it was a coffin lined with comfort and slow decay. Rejecting the script is not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's surgery. A necessary amputation of inherited lies to save the living truth buried underneath. You must be willing to be the black sheep, the outsider, the one they whisper about. Because to become the glitch, you must become unrecognizable to the system. Step 3. Build without permission. The moment you reject their script, the world gets quiet. People stop clapping. You lose applause. You lose comfort. You lose certainty. But what you gain is freedom. Because now, for the first time, your life becomes yours. Now, you decide what success looks like. Now, you choose how you spend your time. Now, you define your values, your voice, your vision. This is when the new script begins. But here's the secret. It can't be copied. It can't be bought. It must be written in blood. Your blood. You must pay for it in discomfort, in loneliness, in rejection, in late nights, in inner battles where your old self begs you to turn back. But you don't. You keep writing. Because this time you're not just surviving, you're becoming. Tactical application. How to start writing your own script. Audit the roles you're playing. What titles are you clinging to just to please others? What routines feel hollow but normal? Ask, is this truly mine? Or did I inherit it? Burn the false identity. Write a list of beliefs you were taught growing up. Cross out everything that makes you feel smaller, not stronger. Replace them with truths that serve your soul, not society. Define success on your terms. Write your own definition of success, not theirs, yours. And don't hold back. Let it be big, raw, bold, and untamed. Move quietly, build loudly, start creating, even if it's just 1 hour a day. Build skills, income, identity, without asking permission. Don't post it. Don't explain it. Just do it. Expect resistance. Embrace it. You will be doubted, laughed at, and misunderstood. Good. That means you're on the right track. Use their doubt as fuel. Use their rules as firewood. Final reminder, they will say you've changed. They'll say you've lost yourself. But you didn't lose anything. You shed what wasn't you. You didn't break. You woke up. And now that you're awake, you don't follow the path. You forge it. In silence. In fire. In blood. In truth. Reject the script. Write your own. And let every step you take be a line they'll never be able to decode. Law 2. Use your pain as a portal. Pain isn't the punishment. It's the portal, the fire, the forge, the proof you're still alive in a world that's already asleep. They told you pain was weakness. They taught you to hide it, to numb it, to smile through it, to cover the bleeding with filters, pharmaceuticals, and fake positivity. They told you if you hurt, something was wrong with you. No, something is wrong with the world. You weren't born broken. You were born into a system designed to break you. And the more awake you become, the more you feel the weight of that truth, the more it burns. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the key. Pain is not your punishment. It's your invitation. It's the initiation ritual into your true self. Think about it. Every transformation you've ever had, every awakening, every breakthrough, every shift came from pain. The heartbreak that showed you who you really were. The betrayal that revealed who never deserved you. The loneliness that forced you to meet yourself. The silence that made you scream your truth for the first time. They want you to medicate that, suppress that, forget that. But those moments, they were portals. Portals to power. Portals to clarity. Portals to you. Pain is proof. You're still human. In the Matrix, they measure success by how little you feel. The goal is sedation, comfort, predictability. They want you numb. Because numb people don't rebel. Numb people don't question. Numb people don't create. But you feel too much. You ache too loud. You cry. Not because you're fragile, but because your soul refuses to go silent. And in a world of the emotionally dead, that makes you a threat. That sadness you carry, that rage in your chest, that hollowness that won't go away. It's not weakness. It's signal. Signal that you're still awake. While they numb, you burn. And burning things can't be caged. Your scars are your symbols. They'll call you damaged. Too much. Too emotional. Too intense. But that's just fear. Their fear that your scars tell a story they've tried to bury. They try to sell you on the perfect life. Polished, smiling, smooth. But smooth skin has never seen battle. It's the scarred ones who've walked through fire and lived to tell the truth. Your scars are your symbols, your map, your resume of survival, your credentials of authenticity. Don't hide them. Don't explain them. Don't apologize for them. Wear them like armor. Speak through them like scripture. Lead with them like a sword. Pain is the portal to unfiltered power. Think of the system like a cage built on repetition. Predictable days. Muted emotions. Constant distractions. That pain you feel when you sit still. When you stop scrolling. When the silence creeps in. That's not just discomfort. That's your soul remembering it was never meant to live like this. Most people feel that pain and run. Into distraction. Into substances. Into conformity. But you, if you're going to become the glitch, must do what they fear. Walk straight into it. You sit with the pain. You let it speak. You let it burn away the programming. And in that fire, something new emerges. Not a better version of you. Not a happier version. A realer version. Untamed. Unapologetic. Unfiltered. That version can't be controlled. Because they didn't give it to you. You built it. In the ashes. Tactical application. Turning pain into power. Feel it fully. Stop suppressing your emotions. Sit with them. Breathe through them. Let them teach you. Journal without filters. Speak without performance. Mind the lesson. Pain is not random. It's a compass. Ask, what is this pain pointing me toward? What is it trying to tell me? Behind every wound is a truth you've been ignoring. Transmute it into art or action. Turn heartbreak into creation. Turn betrayal into fuel. Turn rock bottom into your message, your mission, your movement. Stop apologizing for feeling. Emotional intensity is not dysfunction. It's data. It's clarity. Own it. Use it. Let it give you the edge. Use pain to set boundaries. Pain teaches you what you're no longer available for. Use it to cut off the old self, the fake friends, the cages. Let pain make you selective, precise, and powerful. Final reminder: pain doesn't mean something is wrong. Pain means something is awakening. And if you feel like the pain is too loud, if you feel like the ache might rip you apart, if you feel like you're too sensitive for this world, good. That means the mask is cracking. That means the illusion is dying. That means you're coming online. Let them numb. Let them run. Let them sleep. But you walk through the pain. You open the portal. You emerge unrecognizable. Because the glitch isn't born through comfort. The glitch is forged through suffering that didn't kill you, only sharpened you. Use your pain, make it your portal, and walk through it like the fireproof soul you were born to become. Law 3. Silence is strategy, not surrender. The loud burnout, the strategic disappear. The glitch doesn't announce, the glitch moves. They taught you to shout to be seen, to explain yourself, to justify your rebellion, to scream louder than the noise around you. But that was part of the trap. Because while you're busy proving your worth, explaining your choices, defending your existence, they're collecting data. They're mapping your patterns, tracking your emotions, feeding off your reactions. The system doesn't care what you say. It only cares that you're predictable, that you're loud, that you're readable, that you're trackable. But silence makes you dangerous. The power of ghosting the grid. To become a glitch, you must understand this. The most lethal move is the one they never see coming. Everyone's playing their game in public, posting, performing, proving. They build their ego in the algorithm's reflection. But you slip through the seams. You ghost the grid. You vanish from the pattern. You build in the dark. And in that darkness, you become invisible. Not because you're weak, but because you've become unreachable. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone should hear your plans. Not everyone is qualified to witness your evolution. Sometimes your silence isn't avoidance. It's war preparation. Noise is their game. Stillness is yours. Look around. The loudest ones are often the most lost. They scream because they're still trying to convince themselves. They brag because they're still afraid. But the glitch doesn't play that game. The glitch doesn't flex. The glitch doesn't beg for recognition. Because real power doesn't need a stage. You don't post. You build. You don't argue. You move. You don't threaten. You dominate. In silence. Stillness is the coil before the strike. The system expects rebellion to look loud, angry, explosive, obvious. But that's easy to control. They can cage chaos. They can sedate rage. They can drown noise in more noise. But they can't track stillness. They can't decode silence. You become a ghost in their machine, a myth in the wires, the kind of quiet that makes the room cold, the kind of quiet that makes people sweat, because silence leaves them wondering, and wondering is the system's greatest weakness. Tactical application. Strategic silence in real life. Stop explaining yourself. Your truth doesn't require an audience. The more you explain, the more they try to redefine you. Let them guess. Let them assume. You just build. Move in stealth mode. Build your projects. Stack your cash. Sharpen your skills. Say less. Do more. Let your results speak. Power built in silence is power that cannot be predicted. Choose detachment over drama. Don't react to every insult, doubt, or misunderstanding. Learn the art of the strategic vanish. Leave the conversation. Exit the room. Walk away. You're not here to convince. You're here to command. Be unavailable by design. Your presence is power. Treat it like currency. Not everyone gets access. Not every notification deserves your time. Prioritize your mission, not their noise. Let your absence echo. Don't always respond. Don't always attend. Don't always speak. Become the phantom they remember. Because silence, when used with precision, is louder than any scream. Silence is where power grows. Silence is not surrender. It's strategy. It's calculation. It's control. You're not ghosting them because you're scared. You're ghosting them because you're outgrowing them. While they try to impress the world, you're building a world of your own. While they flex for attention, you're sharpening your focus. While they follow trends, you're designing timeless moves. They won't see it coming. Because the glitch doesn't show up in notifications. The glitch shows up unannounced. Final reminder, let them bark. Let them post. Let them try to go viral. You vanish. You move in silence. You operate in darkness. And when you return, you don't return as an update. You return as a reckoning. You don't flex. You don't announce. You are the move. The system won't see you coming because you stopped playing their game. Silence isn't the absence of power. It's power without permission, without noise, without apology. Move like a ghost. Strike like thunder. Leave echoes they'll never decode. Law 4. Embrace the power of not fitting in. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to break patterns. Your difference isn't a defect. It's a disruption. It's your power. From day one, they tried to stuff you into a mold. Be polite. Be normal. Be manageable. They measured your worth by how well you could play their game, how quietly you could comply, how small you could shrink. And every time you stepped outside the line, they pulled you back in, with shame, with guilt, with silence. But you always felt it, didn't you? That tension in your chest when you had to pretend. That suffocation in rooms where your truth couldn't breathe. That ache of being too much for a world built on just enough. They told you to sit down when your spirit wanted to stand and scream. But here's the truth. You were never meant to fit in. You were built to stand out, to rupture the pattern, not repeat it. Your difference is your decoding key. Think about it. Every innovator, every rebel, every legend, they were weird. They didn't fit. They were mocked. They were misunderstood. They were alone until the world caught up. Because the ones who don't fit are the ones who redefine the shape. Your difference is not an obstacle. It's the access point. The decoding key to a system that has enslaved millions through conformity. You weren't rejected because you were wrong. You were rejected because you reminded them of everything they gave up on. You made them uncomfortable. You made them question. And people don't like mirrors that reflect their cowardice. But that's exactly what you are. A mirror. A reminder. A force of nature in a society addicted to sedation. Fitting in is the first step toward extinction. Every time you tone yourself down to make others comfortable, you amputate a part of your identity. Every time you stay silent when your truth is screaming, you bury your power deeper beneath the noise. And every time you trade authenticity for acceptance, you sign a silent agreement. I agree to live as a ghost in my own skin. But ghosts don't build empires. Ghosts don't shift culture. Ghosts don't burn the matrix down. You weren't made to decorate the system. You were made to disrupt it. So stop apologizing for your edge, your fire, your oddness, your frequency. That discomfort they feel when you walk into a room, that's their illusion cracking. Tactical application, turning difference into dominance. Identify what makes you unrelatable, then amplify it. What parts of you have been labeled too much, too weird, or not normal? Those are your weapons. Lean into them. Turn up the volume. Make them your identity. Stop translating yourself for people who'll never understand you. You don't need to simplify your depth. You don't need to soften your edges. The right ones won't need subtitles for your soul. Reject the myth of the well-rounded human. You weren't made to be balanced. You were made to be brilliantly lopsided, a savage genius in your own domain. Specialize in your madness. Obsess over your uniqueness. Make it lethal. Use isolation as incubation. The ones who don't fit often walk alone. Good. Use the silence to build clarity. Use the solitude to create. Loneliness isn't a punishment. It's the womb of reinvention. Stop explaining. Start creating. Don't waste your energy convincing others you belong. Use that energy to build something so undeniable they can't ignore you. Your difference becomes your dominance when it's paired with execution. The glitch doesn't fit because it was never designed to. You don't need more friends. You don't need more followers. You need alignment. And alignment doesn't come from approval. It comes from ownership. Owning your madness. Owning your creativity. Owning your ability to see what others can't and do what others won't. Stop trying to be digestible. You weren't meant to be consumed. You were meant to be felt. A frequency too sharp for the faint-hearted. A signal too rare for the sedated. A presence too disruptive for the programmable. Final reminder. They'll say you're arrogant. They'll say you're crazy. They'll say you're difficult. Let them. That's the language of fear speaking. Because every time you choose your truth over their comfort, every time you walk your own path instead of theirs, every time you refuse to shrink, you shatter another piece of their illusion. And that illusion is what keeps the matrix alive. You were not made to fit. You were made to fracture. So fracture, shatter, disrupt, redesign. Be the weird one. Be the too much one. Be the one they whisper about when the lights go out. Because while they dream in straight lines, you were born to spiral upward. Law 5. Build a reality they can't touch. The greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's construction. Build a life so bold, so untouchable, so true, that the system can't corrupt it, decode it, or deny it. You've rejected the script. You've weaponized your pain. You've vanished from the noise. You've embraced your difference. Now what? Now you build. Because a glitch isn't just a disruption. A glitch is a rewriter of code. The ultimate rebellion isn't screaming at the machine. It's walking away from it and creating something it can't reach. Let them scroll. Let them sedate. Let them compete for fake trophies and algorithmic applause. You construct your own world. You own your time. You own your energy. You own your name, your schedule, your output, your identity. Because power isn't found in shouting. Power is found in structure. Power is found in creation. Escape by construction, not collapse. Most people think freedom is blowing everything up. But destruction without construction is just another form of slavery. The glitch doesn't run from the system screaming. The glitch outgrows it. The glitch builds a life so meaningful, so self-defined, so deliberate, that the matrix becomes irrelevant. No more explaining. No more proving. No more begging for table scraps from a system designed to keep you starving. You're not here to survive it. You're here to make it obsolete. Build what can't be bought. There are two worlds. The visible one, curated, branded, public, fake. The real one, built brick by brick in silence, invisible to the sedated masses. Most people invest in the visible world. They flex, they impress, they perform, but it's hollow. You build what the system can't buy. Self-respect, peace, time, wealth that isn't dependent on one paycheck, one platform, or one approval. Your reality becomes your fortress. Your inner world becomes your command center. And when the grid fails, when the system cracks, you won't panic. You'll already be free. Tactical application. How to build an untouchable reality. Design your life like a fortress, not a fantasy. Stop chasing aesthetic freedom and start designing real freedom. Ask yourself, can they shut this off? Can they take this from me? Can they cancel this? If the answer is yes, rebuild it stronger. Develop multiple income streams outside the system. Money equals mobility. Build skills that let you earn without begging. Create assets, not just income. Own what you create. License what you know. Monetize your truth. Create time autonomy. Don't just escape the 9-to-5. Escape the need to trade your soul for schedules. Buy your time back through discipline, minimalism, leverage, and entrepreneurship. Turn your identity into intellectual property. You are not a resume. You are not a role. You are a brand. Package your story, your lessons, your scars, your voice. Build something that lives even when you're offline. Fortify your inner world. Daily. Read, reflect, meditate, journal, sharpen your thinking, solidify your values, discipline your desires, make your mind a place the world cannot invade. The goal is not escape, it's sovereignty. Everyone's trying to escape. But the glitch doesn't escape by running. The glitch escapes by building a new gravitational field. You don't just get free. You create freedom for others by example. You become the proof that another path is real. They say, be realistic. You say, I am, just not by your definition. You stop reacting to culture. You become culture. You stop responding to trends. You define them. You stop asking for permission. You become the authority over your own life. Final reminder. The world doesn't reward rage. It rewards results. You don't fight the system by complaining. You fight the system by becoming so good, so self-owned, so immovable that it can't touch you. You own your income. You own your decisions. You own your truth. You own your silence. You own your name. And when you own those things, you don't just survive the matrix. You outbuild it. You outlast it. You outcreate it. So stop waiting to be saved. Start building what they told you wasn't possible. Be the glitch that doesn't just crash the system. Be the glitch that replaces it. One brick at a time. One boundary at a time. One bold move at a time. To the returning GrimFace warriors, we see you. Scarred, sharpened, silent, still walking through the fire without flinching. Every step you take, every illusion you tear down, every truth you refuse to swallow, You're building more than just a life. You're building a legacy of resistance, of sovereignty, of truth. You are the glitch, the whisper that rattles the machine, the storm they hoped would never return. And if this was your first time hearing the call, welcome. This isn't motivation. This is your wake-up call. This is your invitation to unplug, to unlearn, and to rise. Subscribe to the GrimFace movement now. Not for likes, not for hype, but because the war is real, and it's happening inside you every day. Discipline, sovereignty, fire. We are the ones who don't kneel. We don't conform. We build. And if that sounds like you, then stop waiting and join us.